Well, a Duluth woman is raising questions regarding the ambiguous language used to define indecent exposure in Minnesota laws.
This after an individual called the police a couple weeks ago on the woman for being topless at Park Point Beach and refusing to cover up.
Fox 21's Viktoria Capek is live in the newsroom with more. Viktoria.
Dan and Alexandra, part of Minnesota's statute defines nudity as a woman showing her breasts. Another part says that showing your private parts are illegal, but doesn't actually define what private parts are.
Michele Bennett enjoys the beach as much as the next person. But unlike most women you'll see, she enjoys it topless. She's been going topless at Park Point Beach for 2 years and never had problems until last month.
A woman approached me after about 20 minutes of laying in the sun without a top on, saying that I was making her children uncomfortable.
Bennett declined to put a top on, so the woman called the police. Bennett was later approached by a Duluth officer who didn't know if he could arrest her.
He heard that someone had been refusing to put a top on and that it wasn't a nude beach. I pointed out to him that I wasn't nude, I was topless.
Bennett referred the officer to a Minnesota law that says a person can't publicly expose their private parts. But that same law doesn't say if a woman's breasts fall under that category. A separate Minnesota law does say, however, nudity includes a woman's breasts. But nudity is only defined as illegal if you're presenting it to an audience. Bennett says she wasn't doing this for an audience, and because of that, wasn't breaking a law.
I wasn't being lewd. I was just laying in the sun, minding my own business.
It's why police chose not to arrest her.
In the end, they really couldn't establish whether or not I was breaking a law because of that ambiguous language.
Duluth police say because of the law's ambiguity, each individual situation is determined by how much of a disturbance it's causing.
If there's people that are around that are feeling uncomfortable with behavior that's attached to a law stating that behavior isn't legal, then that's a point to step in.
We spoke to people at Park Point Beach to hear what they thought about a woman being topless there. Some had no problem with it.
If they're not just flashing around, but if it's just minding their own business, totally fine with that.
Some disagreed.
In an area like Duluth where that's not common, are you doing it because you're trying to bring attention to yourself?
But almost everyone we spoke to said that if the language is ambiguous, it should be changed.
I think if you wanted to make it more legal, you should be more specific about it. Other than that, I would say keep doing what you're doing as long as you're not bothering anyone.
Unanimously, I think we'd like that language to be clarified and for the police officers to all be aware of what the actual law is.
Bennett eventually did put her top back on that day. But after that incident, she reached out to Duluth Mayor Emily Larson and the city attorney, hoping to make a change regarding the vague laws so she doesn't run into that experience again.
I don't think that we can just put our tops on every time someone says that, you might be doing something wrong.
Bennett has now left several messages with Duluth leaders, but says she hasn't heard back from the mayor or city attorney. However, Dan and Alexandra, since the law is a state statute and not city ordinance, ultimately only state legislators have the power to change the wording of the law if they so choose.